My name is Hanifin, and I'm speaking to you today about the Parish Life Center that we are proposing to build at St. Michael's Catholic Church here in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. We are proposing to build a 14,600 square foot Parish Life Center that will house approximately 5 classrooms and a large assembly hall area for meeting space and for large groups meetings. The purpose of it is to support a large parish that's grown substantially over the last 5 to 7 years. The parish has grown from about 2,000 families in 2011 to about 5,000 families today in 2026. With 5,000 families, that's roughly 20,000 parishioners, so that's a huge increase over a 10 to 15 year period. So we have about 40 to 45 ministries that support the parish. So we have a robust liturgy. In all the masses have anywhere from 50 to 90% occupancy, especially on the major liturgies like Christmas and Easter. There's overflow capacity. But in your standard Saturday, Sunday masses, there's wonderful attendance, and we're blessed to have that. And we're also blessed to have a substantial amount of participation in the ministries. And we've heard from a lot of the ministries, Knights of Columbus, Catholic Daughters, Spanish ministries, and others, that we just don't have the meeting space that we need for a parish of this size. So back in 2023, we formed a building committee to see what we need for our parish. And after some study, we determined that we need an additional building to support the parish. And the additional building is the one that we're proposing for the parish, and it's a 14,600 square foot building. So we undertook a study. We had a feasibility study, we surveyed the parish, and we surveyed all of the ministries to see what the needs were, and we came up with 3 things. The first thing was we needed meeting space, desperately. The second thing we needed was a large assembly space for a large group meeting, possibly for a banquet, possibly for a large presentation, and possibly for weddings or funeral celebrations, for banquets, or sacrament celebrations like First Communions, confirmations, and the like, or religious instruction for large groups. So if you're having a guest speaker come in, like Scott Hahn, or someone like that, Jeff Clavens, to come in and speak about some biblical topic, they could come in and speak, and you would be able to have 200 to 300 people in that room that we don't have that ability to do now. So utilizing the existing parking and the existing campus that we have, because we have a beautiful large campus here with a beautiful school, but we can't utilize the school during school hours. The building has certain limitations due to the church's restrictions on building usage. So there's a need for other building space. So let's talk about the building and what we came up with. We tried our best to maximize the return on investment with the building space. We came up with a building that was proposed to be 14,600 square feet, and it's a single floor building. And the reason for that is it was the largest return on investment as a metal building. We looked at brick. Brick is preferable because it would match the church, and it has the touch and feel of strength and durability. But steel was significantly cheaper and also had a long lifespan that was comparable to brick. The engineer and the architect that we've worked with have utilized a steel building in grocery store applications, and it's worked very well. And grocery stores, as you know, are high capacity, high usage, just like churches. So a lot of people come in and out of them, and they're high traffic and kind of rough traffic at times with grocery carts and things like that. So they've withstood that type of traffic and that type of heavy usage quite well. Also, with the wind rating, with hurricanes and things, that was another concern with that type of building as opposed to brick, and that also fared very well based on the expense. We looked at utilizing the school, either adding on to the school as a second floor or adding on as an addition, adding on Pack Hall, or adding an addition onto Pack Hall, and none of those options yielded a return on investment as opposed to just building a new building. Those all sounded like attractive possibilities until we got into the costs of them, and none of them were similar to the costs of just putting up a new building. We have 3 main meeting spaces in one part of the building, and then we have a main assembly hall that can be split up into 2 classrooms when it's not used as a single assembly hall. So that's the framework of the building. It also, the assembly hall, if it's used as a wedding banquet or other banquet area, if we use garage doors to open up and have open air, it can look out onto where the children play in the playground, and you can have kind of a landscaped area that would make it attractive for people to want to have a reception there and things like that. Another feature of the new building is a security feature and audio visual. If there are 2 separate independent functions that's going on at the same time, if you have children in the classrooms or in the meeting rooms, and you have adults in the assembly room, for example, then there's the ability to have the 2 buildings separated by locked doors. And the diocese asked us to do that, and there's a security feature that allows that particularly for the classrooms or the meeting rooms, to be, those that are in the assembly room can be prevented from entering those classrooms. There's a security feature to protect the children that are in those rooms. The other thing we're trying to do is work the building into our current aesthetic scheme. So with a metal building, it can be painted so that it's rust prohibitive, preventative, and that it will match it'll match the rest of the campus. The columbarium type of stone and bricks will match the bottom part of the new Parish Life Center. So when it rains, any splash that comes up from the rain, the metal building will be protected from that with the stone that will be on the veneer. The bottom 3 feet will have that just like a stucco might. You might see that kind of skirting around, or kind of picture the wainscoting in your dining room. It'll have that kind of look at the bottom of the building, that bottom 3 feet, to protect the metal building. And the metal building will be raised enough so that there won't be any pooling of water to rust out the metal building. The other thing is the color of the metal building. We picked in addition to matching it with the brick of the columbarium and the church, is also to have a Marian blue to honor Our Lady. So that's another thing that we've selected to do as well. So where we are currently is we had just finished consolidating 8 different deeds that comprised our campus. The Diocese of Charleston is the landowner, and the parish is the beneficiary of the diocese being the landowner. The next step is to go to the county now and seek the permit for the building. Once we get started with construction, it should be anywhere from 9 months to 18 months once the contractor starts with the backhoe from start to finish. So as far as the building's concerned, we've really taken a conservative approach to maximizing the money and maximizing the space for the money per square foot. The other thing we did was, some people have commented that we should have had even more meeting space, 2 more classrooms or 2 more meeting rooms, and we have the ability on the front of it to add 2 more classrooms if necessary. And if we have more generosity through the parish, we can even add that on in the construction phase now and save money. But for right now, we are not doing that because we're trying to be as conservative as we can with the parish's money. We have the ability to add it on later if the need arises as our parish continues to grow, and we expect it to. The projections are there throughout the whole state, throughout the whole Diocese of Charleston, and that's a blessing. You see the numbers with the Catholic Church growing throughout the country, and Charleston's no exception to that. So there's certainly a need for the building. There's certainly a need for the ministries. It will be a blessing to have that as part of the parish. It's something that's really desperately needed, and it'll really be very helpful for the 40 to 45 ministries that support such a vibrant, wonderful parish that we have with such a wonderful faith community here. And I'm very privileged to be part of the building committee and to be part of the effort to help St. Michael's obtain this needed project. And if you have any questions concerning the new building or any of the efforts or any of the details that I might have covered and you need more information, please feel free to contact the parish office. Finally, I just want to thank the building committee for their time and effort on working on this project since 2023. They've put a lot of time and effort into it to try to safeguard the funds of the parish, to take into consideration the efforts of the ministry, and to, most importantly, to try to further the religious mission for the parish and to try to create space for the needs of the parish to do that. And we've had a lot of meetings and a lot of efforts to do that. Rob Montgomery, who's our architect, put in a great amount of time. We appreciate him. We appreciate the diocese. They've been immensely supportive for us. Dave Fromer from the diocese has put in a lot of time as well. And finally, just the efforts from Father Ed and Father Joseph the continuity between the two of them have been tremendous. So we're very blessed to have all the support that we've had to bring us to this stage, and we're very excited once the construction gets started. So thank you very much.